What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fun NFL. We got my mock draft 1.0. After scouting home, we'll get back to the power rankings, and of course, free agency recaps are back into the swing after that. But either way, my mock draft 1.0. Let's get right into it. And what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fun NFL. We got my mock draft 1.0 here. Of course, this should be a very, very good one. Honestly, it's my first one, so it's not going to be perfect. Of course, a lot of stuff still has to happen. Of course, with the Cowboys situation, I'll be honest with you, we'll see how it goes, but I still have my pick in for them. So I got this whole thing written down. Let's get right into it. First pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a couple of choices. They could take Evan Neal. Of course, is a former five-star recruit. He's 6'6" and 360 pounds. He is a very good run blocker, very tough, and he definitely is defender tough. And he excels. He wears defenders down in pass sets. He uses his body mass and length to force defenders to run around him and out of the way of the quarterback. This year, Neal made the transition from right tackle to left tackle, which seems to be a successful move. And one that shows his natural spatial awareness to take away the inside move that the defenders focus them on. Neal has a natural skill set at right tackle, but seems to be more comfortable at left tackle. This versatility will give him more through a day one starter in the NFL. This dude's a stud. I think the Jags will take him. Trevor Lawrence is their number one priority for the next at least 15 years. They need him badly, and I honestly think they could either take Ikem Ekwonu, who I think is a very good player in his own right. But honestly, I think Evan Neal's a little better. Just the fact that he is a little more athletic than him, and he's a little bigger, so that just helps too. Both franchise left tackles though. This isn't the most talented draft class, but there are some really good players. Next, Lions, they need edge, they need safety. We'll get in that second. Quarterback, you could say. Wide receiver, definitely. They're going to go after guys in free agency, like, heavily. It wouldn't surprise me if they even got Amari Cooper. They need to sign a couple receivers. There's not the guys honestly, they could take a receiver, but at number 32, there's a good chance it won't be the receivers they need, considering receivers they need in this draft class. In my opinion, they're taking Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is a very good player. Like, I can show you him. He's a 4.3 defender prospect. You look at all this stuff you can talk about him. You can go on forever. He has a great storyline, but it's pretty simple. He is a Michigan prototype. The speed rusher who powers through guys. A leader. That's exactly what he is. Texans, edge is their number one need. They got no pressure off the edge this year. They do have a nose tackle, though. That's good for them. They do need another cornerback. They do need safety. That can definitely be second round, though, because there is good depth at this position in this class. Quarterback, of course, they need, but they can wait with Davis Mills. Wide receivers, another need, but they do have Brandon Cooks. Inside offensive line's another one, too. Running back, no offense, guys. I highly doubt there's going to be a running back taken in the first round. It's not that the guys aren't good. It's just the fact that the best running backs in the NFL right now were not first-round picks. Let's be honest. Kayvon Thibodeau is a former number one prospect. Upon arriving, he earned countless honors and awards, including the Morris Trophy in the Pac-12 championship game, MVP, which also earning All-American and All-Pac-12 status, nearly every publication. Thibodeau is a very good athlete with regards to explosion and agility. In the passing game, he has an explosive first step and demonstrates very good ability to counter. He doesn't win on the initial move, which is a little bit of a concern. He rushes with good instincts and feel around, showing an uncanny ability to set linemen up throughout the game. In the run game, he plays with heavy hands and does a good job holding the point of attack. He should improve the consistency in which he digitally puts a play with high effort, motor, and emotional endurance. So this dude, he has a little bit of maturity issues, but he's a super talented player. He'll keep improving. I honestly think they're going to take him. Kayvon Thibodeau is honestly, it's him. Honestly, the only difference between Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson isn't as good an athlete as Kayvon Thibodeau, but he's definitely more mature, which is why he'll probably go 1 or 2, and Kayvon Thibodeau most likely won't. Number 4, it's kind of easy for them, Ikem Ekwonu. You could say, oh yeah, the Texans should. Texans, that's their number one need, actually, and here's why. It's really for one reason, and one reason simple. They have Titus Howard. He's a good offensive lineman. Max Sharping, he can wait for now. He's okay. And, of course, they have Laramie Tunsil, who they can trade. But they have flexible offensive linemen. They're not a bad offensive line. I can just show you. Texans offensive line. Laramie Tunsil's decent. Lane Taylor, I'll show you his PFF. Yeah, he's not good. So, yeah, you could say that is a problem. But then, of course, you have Laramie Tunsil, who's fine. Titus Howard. Marcus Cannon's okay. You can keep him there. Justin McCray. Show you him. .51, so not great. And then you look at Max. Of course, he's just, no, that's Justin Britt. Oh, my bad. I ain't saying it's a good offensive line, but Justin Britt isn't bad. Of course, Laramie Tunsil, Titus Howard, not bad either. Marcus Cannon's always been solid, so yeah, that's why they're not probably taking an offensive lineman. That's why I have them taking Kayvon Thibodeaux. Ikem Ekwonu should go to the Jets. He is a beast also. Evan Neal and him could switch. But then I honestly think the Texans should take, or even, no, Lions won't, but the Texans actually should take Evan Neal if he's available there because he is a steal there, even though it's so high, but yeah. And then you look at the Giants. They can go 1,000 different ways, but honestly, for them, take Charles Cross. You need offensive line. Charles Cross is a really good player. Put him across with Andrew Thomas. You have 2 tackles there forever. Charles Cross, here's the difference. I'll show you. Charles Cross is a redshirt sophomore that had started the past 2 seasons for Mississippi State. Cross won 20 starts for the Bulldogs. Cross is an exceptional athlete. That's what it is. Great initial first step that makes him difficult for edge rushers to beat him around the edge. He's a fluid athlete in the open field. That's what you want to see. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. Let's be honest. He's not. He could be decent, but he's not going to be a good quarterback. When you have Charles Cross there at right tackle, you won't have to be worried. And of course, Andrew Thomas is protecting him there. Run blocking, he's not the best. Honestly, he's not very good. Not the best in run blocking. Give me a better at it though. He's a stud. Great athlete. Very good athlete. Just go look at his 40 time. Charles Cross is a stud. So, yeah, that's why the Giants are taking him here. Here's why. The Panthers, Charles Cross available, they're taking him. Their offensive line is honestly atrocious. They'll go after some guys for agency, and I think they will pick him up. But honestly, for here, they're going to reach on Matt Corral. Matt Corral is an RPO quarterback, which is very, very, very enticing. That's why I think they're going to pick him. It's a very big reach, and here's why. Matt Corral is the quarterback you want in an RPO system in a run-pass option. He is very good at setting his feet. Here's one problem. Not the most mature, and he is not amazing at throwing off the run, and he doesn't have a crazy arm. He has a really good arm, just not a crazy one. Matt Corral's a really good quarterback, though. I can literally show you. Like, look at him. Good athleticism and maneuver outside the pocket, but in the run game, he can convert crucial third downs with his legs, but clearly wants to deliver it from the pocket if he can. See, he did a much better job of disconcerting when to use his legs. Defenses must account for him in the red zone aspect of the game, as he demonstrates the ability to pull it from the mesh and threaten the defense. That's what you want to see in the passing game. He is highly effective and productive in the Ole Miss offense. And honestly, they really should just insert an offense for them because, no offense, Sam Darnold's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. They have an average quarterback right now. Sam Darnold's a bust. They need to go after and get a quarterback. Malik Willis, I don't know yet. He needs to develop. They are not in that situation. Matt Corral can go out there and produce. Yeah, he'll have his big oops and downs, but at least he can go out there. You don't want to take Kenny Pickett because he's not the high potential guy you need. You want a guy like Matt Corral who's in between these two guys, and when you have that, you got Matt Corral, so that's what you want. It's a reach. It's kind of like a Daniel Jones, except he's much better than Daniel Jones. And then you look at number 7, the Giants. The best player on the board, it's kind of simple for the Giants. Is it their biggest need? Honestly, probably not. But it's Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is honestly the best secondary player I've seen in a while. He's an absolute superstar. Out of Notre Dame, His football IQ and his instincts are the best. You're not going to find better. That's about all I have to say for him. He's a phenomenal player. Can keep up with burners. He will be there. Basically, their leader on defense. If you're the Giants, you need to pick that guy if he's available. Number 8, I have Travon Walker for the Falcons. They need edge badly. They don't really have a great edge rusher, let's be honest. If they get Travon Walker, who is a beast, I honestly don't think they're going to take Jermaine Johnson just for the fact that he's not as consistent as Travon Walker. Travon Walker, of course, coming out of Georgia, was a 5-star. Rare athleticism. Very rare athleticism. There's a lot of stuff you could say about him. A rare get-off and explosive off the step. So you talk about his explosive. Travon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeaux are the only explosive guys, super explosive guys off the snap. But here's the thing with Travon Walker. He was on Georgia, you got to remember that, but that dude pushed defenders. You could not bite. If you bit, you were done. Yeah, he's a really good player. For the Broncos, Jermaine Johnson, they need another edge rusher with Bradley Chubb. They got rid of Von Miller. There's your replacement. Jermaine Johnson is a very good player. They can get other guys later that they need. Honestly, keep Teddy Bridgewater. You don't want to reach on a quarterback here. Kenny Pickett is not their guy, let's be honest. Malik Willis maybe, but they don't really have the offensive coaching staff. I haven't seen yet for them to do it. Obviously, the guys behind them are not that great. Anthony Brown is in this guy. I want to see some of these guys. Tyler Show. I have not seen Tyler Show play in ages. Derek King is going to tear an ACL again. But yeah, I'm not talking about quarterbacks because these guys aren't great. But either way, for the Jets, number 10, it's kind of simple. They need a corner, badly. They're not taking him at number 4 because they need offensive line too. It's Derek Stingley. It's Derek Stingley Jr. His father, of course, was a great NFL player. This dude's a beast. He is the best corner in the draft class, and I think it's kind of close, but he's really good. Of course, he got hurt, but you can't throw to his side of the field because more often than not, it's an incompletion. Now for Washington. Who knows what they're doing in quarterback, but you can't have Taylor Heinicke start again. He's one of the best backups in the NFL, but he's not a great starter. So what should they do? Draft Malik Willis. Here's why. You need a Lamar Jackson. They need a guy who can just elevate them. Yeah, you can just keep Ryan Fitzpatrick. Have him develop, but you need a spark. You got a really good running back. Yeah. I think he's gonna bounce back next year. Antonio Gibson. You got a top 15 receiver in Terry McLaurin, maybe even top 10. I don't think he's top 10. Whatever, 10 to 15 from Terry McLaurin. But you have a receiver. What you do need is a quarterback to get him the ball. Have Malik Willis develop. Get a couple offensive linemen and definitely get Brandon Scherff back. And I think you got a good guy from Malik Willis. Next guy, Vikings. They're in a tricky situation. Of course, I will show you their quarterback room. It's pretty darn ugly. It's not great. Patrick Peterson's good. Cameron Dantzler's not good. You can't have Mackenzie Alexander out there as your number 2 corner. I'm sorry. They're going to draft Ahmad Gardner, and here's why. He fits their scheme as the edge rush first. Because Ahmad Gardner, more of a zone corner if you look at him. Oh, yeah, you say man-to-man. He's 160 pounds. He's very, very, but I said he's a zone corner. You got to remember that. He's excellent coverage instincts, zone and press coverage. Yeah, you can have him in press, but you really do want him in zone. You do not want him having to play press man because the guys will cook him sometimes, considering he's just not the biggest guy, so he can do stuff. But Ahmad Gardner's a great corner. He never got burned. I've never seen him get burned. It's just how it works. He's such a good, fast kid. Okay, now for the Browns. It's kind of simple. They need another wide receiver. Jarvis, he's decent, but they need to get a guy. And I really think their guy is Drake London. Drake London is the best receiver in this draft class, in my opinion. Overall, the best. He's just most well-rounded. Gets open. He's not like Cooper. So I like to compare him to Cooper Kupp sometimes. The only difference is that he's not as physical as I say he is, but he has a lot of good tools. You look at Drake London. Of course, he's very athletic. Very athletic. Jumping ability, body control, agility for a big receiver. Like I said, he's 6'5", 210. So he's kind of like Cooper Kupp. Here's the only difference, though. He's an athletic beast. He's an excellent route runner. In the passing game, like I said, he's excellent. Outstanding body control and agility. Run after catch. And yeah, he's excellent contested catch situation and use his strong hands to secure the ball, football in traffic. And N'Keal Harry, little you could say out of it, but except he's a bona fide stud. And more importantly, he's got some burners. I'm not saying he's the fastest dude out there, but he's got some burners. He can burn some corners. Next guy for the Baltimore Ravens, you got Patrick Queen. He's developing. We'll put it that way. But here you gotta admit they need another linebacker. I will show you right now. Yeah, you got Patrick Queen, but you don't want Josh Bynes starting. Who you do want to start is Nakobe Dean, because Nakobe Dean is a very, very good player. Let's look at Nakobe Dean. He's a very good reactive athlete with regard to quickness and agility. If he misses a gap, he'll make up for it. He affects the passing game in a variety of ways. He can blitz and demonstrate very good closing quickness to the quarterback. He gets good depth in his zone drops, while also showing an ability to cover running backs with ease. In the run game, he is very instinctive in the box. He is a team-leading TFL number. Speaks to the downhill instinctive and his decisive effort he plays with. Yeah, you could go on forever about his quickness, but honestly, you gotta know, Nakobe Dean downright can cover and tackle. That's the number two thing you think. You don't want all these fancy, smancy, bam, bam. This dude just a downright old school, great darn football linebacker. That's what you want. Okay, now for the Eagles. It doesn't matter which way they pick. I think they're going to take Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd is their guy, and here's why. The Chargers would take Devin Lloyd. Like, I don't think they care, but you got to go down the board a little, and the Cardinals don't need Devin Lloyd. The Raiders especially don't. Patriots maybe. Steelers absolutely not. They could pick him again here, but you don't want to risk the Saints. So I take Devin Lloyd right here. It really doesn't matter. I guess we can't read the analysis because the Wi-Fi's down. Whatever. Nakobe Dean, let's look at him. He's 6'3", 235. Like, great player, honestly. But you got to remember, there are some struggles, if you ask me. And, of course, it's kind of keeping up with those tight ends. If he can get better at covering tight ends, he could be a really good player. I think he shouldn't be ranked that low, but for Utah, he gave Oregon fits in the run game. They could not run the ball. And Troy Dye, if he's on here, I doubt he is. Whatever. Troy Dye, the running back for Oregon, couldn't do nothing because Devin Lloyd was hitting every single gap. Devin Lloyd is a very good prospect. You got to know that. For Philly, they have, of course, back-to-back picks. Honestly, they're probably going to trade one of these, but just kind of realistic, they're going to take Andrew Booth. Darius Slay's there, of course. It's not their number one need, but you also got to remember, Avonte Maddox is not a great man-to-man corner. And if you put that into regard, you got a man-to-man corner with Andrew Booth. And then, of course, you have Zach McPherson, Steven Nelson. They need another cornerback, let's be honest. Yeah, he has a 5-star blend of athleticism, instincts, and physicality, ball skills. And he is basically the best player on Clemson, right? He was the best player on Clemson. He deserves to be top 50, half of this draft. For the first round, he's a great player. Next, for the Chargers, it's kind of simple. You get who's the best player available. You look at offensive line. Oh yeah, you have all these receivers. Edge rusher maybe. Honestly though, I think they're taking Tyler Linderbaum. He is honestly, other than like the top couple 5 guys in the draft, Tyler Linderbaum is the most guaranteed good player. He does not appear as though Linderbaum has functional skill set as a positionally flexible hitter. I consider him a center exclusive prospect coming out of Iowa, which may temper his value in the eyes of top of the NFL draft order. Here's his problem though: this dude can play guard. I don't know what you're talking about. Tyler Linderbaum can play guard. We've seen it before. Yeah, they do have Corey Linsley, but if they have Linderbaum next to him, that could be trouble for other teams because they need. Chargers, yeah, their defense is bad. They can worry about the rest of the draft. They're going to try to pick up some guys for agency. Downright protect your man, which is Justin Herbert. They can have a great offensive line for the next couple of years. You have that, so you're good. Now for the Saints. For the Saints, they could do really anything considering they have some issues. But honestly, they need to get Jameis back, in my opinion. They're taking Jameson Williams. Yeah, he got hurt, but they need a spark. They need that deep threat because, no offense, Yanni Harris is not very consistent. Yeah, you got Michael Thomas. You need another receiver, though. Yeah, you could say Traquan Smith, but he's a little inconsistent. You need a number 2 guy. Jameson Williams, your guy. You need another weapon. You get that with Jameson Williams. You can go after other guys later. You need a number 1. You need a bona fide deep threat, and that's Jameson Williams. Yeah, he got hurt. I know that, but he's still a great player. Okay, now for Philly. It could really be Treylon Burks. They don't need Treylon, and here's why you shouldn't get Treylon Burks. Devontae Smith and Garrett Wilson, I feel would be a great combo, considering they're both very explosive. I'll show you. Is a dynamic threat with ball in his hands and offers run after catch ability that surely commanded the NFL. Wilson, who's part of a crowded receiver room in Columbus and enjoyed a career year in 2021, projects best NFL as a slot receiver, which is what they need. Short area agility will afford him more room to work and create space so he can naturally craft quick touches for an offense that commands vertical passing attack, which is what the Eagles should. Of course, they're going to run the ball, but if they can get that vertical passing game attack, so Jalen Hurts can do what he does best, throw the ball downfield over the middle, which I honestly think is a strength of Jalen Hurts. I think that could really help him. Now for the Steelers, I honestly think this is the most predictable pick. It's Kenny Pickett. They need a quarterback downright. They're not comfortable taking Sam Howell or Desmond Ridder because those guys just aren't consistent. Kenny Pickett's consistent. That's basically, he can throw the ball downfield. That's really what you need. Small hands, whatever. He's a really good player. Okay, this is going to be surprising. Honestly, I think they take inside defensive line. You get Devontae Watt and Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis should be a first-round pick. So maybe, but we really don't know. Okay, so yeah, so it could be Devontae Watt or Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is probably the more popular guy, but honestly, yeah, they're taking Jordan Davis. Let's be honest. The Patriots taking Jordan Davis. Sorry, I just had to pause. Okay, about that. Okay, now I think I'm gonna take Jordan Davis, and here's why. He's just a beast. He was a defensive lineman. Typically had a 3 tech, but he also had a 1 tech as a shift for front snap. He demonstrates good reactive athleticism and lateral agility for a young man his size. In passing game, of course, he's 340 and 6'6". Here's the thing about Jordan Davis, though. He moves guys, and that's what the Patriots need. They were not physical enough at points in the season defensively. They couldn't stop the run. If they want to beat teams like the Ravens, they got to have a guy like Jordan Davis. And I think they'll draft a guy like him. In my Back to 1.0. Now for the Raiders. What's their number 1 need? You look at corner. You got Casey Hayward. He's old. He's not going to play like he did last year. Who knows? But honestly, they're taking Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie's versatile. That's what they need. They need a versatile dude that can make plays. That's a steal in the draft. They need another secondary player. You got Mulray. You got Abram. You got Hayward. You got what is it called? Mullen. But you need another guy to really help it. Their offense is fine. Their defense needs to play better, a little better though, if they want to have a really good shot at moving up next year. Now for Arizona, they gotta pick an offensive lineman. Let's look at it. Let's be honest, Trevor Penning is a very good player, and that's who I think they're gonna pick. Here's why. DJ Humphries is decent. Kelvin Beachum is not. They need an offensive lineman to help protect Kyler Murray. They could definitely take an edge rusher, but I don't think they will. They're gonna take Trevor Penning right there. He's the best available guy for them. Very good in explosion on the perimeter agility. He is not very physical though, which can be a problem. But honestly, with the spread offense, they just need a guy who can steal a block for Kyler and in the run game up the middle. They can do that with their other guys because they do have some good power blockers in there. That is downward the guy that can protect Kyler Murray. That is Trevor Penning. Now for Dallas, who do I think they're gonna pick? Honestly, it's David Ojabo. David Ojabo is a beast. They maybe will get Randy Gregory back. But they just downright need another edge rusher. They didn't get enough pressure against San Francisco. Think they will next year, but they got to draft their best edge rusher, and that is David Ojabo. Who knows? They might get Treylon Burks, but I honestly think they should draft David Ojabo. Of course, he got shadowed by Aiden Hutchinson, but he's still a great prospect. Now for Buffalo, Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green is a very underrated guy. Very, very, very powerful. 325, 6'4", 35. Green's experienced. Very experienced natural center, natural function strength that he uses as a true road grader in the run game. Offensive coordinators have beneficial run plays that allow him behind Green's path. As a pass protector, Green possesses quickness that used to mirror defenders and dominate interior pass rushers. So here's the thing. Kenyon Green is a run blocker, and that's what they need. They need a guy who can move men so that they can get a run game going. Because no offense, you can't have Josh Allen just throwing the ball 80 times a game. It's just not how it works. He can't take that many hits. Yeah, he might never get hurt, but you got to have a run game. I think Kenyon Green is your best shot at helping develop it. Okay, for Tennessee, Julio Jones, of course, getting old. You got to draft a receiver for Ryan Tannehill because A.J. Brown can't be their one guy, and they can't rely on him as much. They just take Chris Olave, and here's why. He fits their offense, and the fact that he is a true route technician, which Ryan Tannehill can rely on at times. Because, let's be honest, he does get hurried sometimes when he has to make a big throw. He can't, so they got to have a guy who can get open, and that is Chris Olave. He honestly was the best prospect. They, of course, came down because of C.J. Stroud not loving him. Olave lacks the physical stretcher as a dominant possession catcher in traffic, and his worst moments seem to come when contested or looking high point footballs in traffic. But an accurate passer will be able to feed the schedule and allow his high-end separation skills to come out in the pro game. Not your typical jump ball guy, which you got Julio Jones for. But here's the thing. You need a guy who gets open because A.J. Brown will get doubled. He doesn't get open all the time either. You got to remember, he's not the most consistent, A.J. Brown is. Same thing with guys like Deebo Samuel. But for Chris Olave, he does get open. So for the Titans, I think that's a really good pick for them. Okay, for Tampa, they need a receiver because they're not going to get Chris Godwin back. That's Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks, simple. Very consistent. That's about it. Can keep going on forever. He is not a fast dude, but he is a receiving threat. And X receiver, slot receiver in the backfield at times and for the Arkansas offense. This allows coaching staff to unique ways to get the ball in his hands. When the ball is in his hand, Burke is a tough tackle for defenders. He's a power with arm tackles and is rarely brought down by his first defender, which is very good because they have Mike Evans out there too. But most importantly, if they have Kyle Trask start, they should not reach on the quarterback. Kyle Trask starting, get the ball to Treylon Burks, and he'll do good stuff with it. And now for Green Bay. I'm going to go nuts if they don't draft Jahan Dotson because Jahan Dotson is pretty simple. He's got hands. He catches everything. That's all you need to know. Throw him the ball, he will not drop it. He is very, very good at catching footballs. Best hands in the draft, undoubtedly. Jahan Dotson goes to Green Bay. Here's why, defensive. Well, here's the thing. They might not have another receiver, and Aaron Rodgers most likely coming back. You need to get the ball to Jahan Dotson. They need to draft him because they need another guy with Devontae Adams. They really do, though, because in the playoffs, they're not going to have the guys to get open unless they have Jahan Dotson, because he's really the best wide receiver available. David Bell's good, too, which we're going to talk about again. I think that Miami has to draft David Bell because considering he is their jump ball receiver, they need that. I admire the efforts put forth by the Purdue offense to ensure they manufacture enough touches for their top target in the passing game. As Bell many of routes and concept, his featured quick game with sticks, routes, and slants. Big for their Miami offense. Screen game on the perimeter and long developing digs, posts, and deep outs. And double moves vertically outside the numbers. I wouldn't necessarily advocate for such a vast array of touches in the NFL, but I see a perimeter wide receiver with effective releases off the line of scrimmage, which is what they need. They need guys that can just get off the line fast enough and get open quick enough so that Tua can get the ball out. Because let's be honest, when Tua's in the quick game, there's not many other guys that can really play like him. I'll just be honest there. Okay, now for the Chiefs. Okay, this is actually kind of complicated, I'll be honest with you. But honestly, I think they do need another physical guy because you saw them getting dominated in the run game by the Bengals. They need Devontae Watt. Devontae Watt is a beast inside guy with Jordan Davis. They're basically the same player except the fact that Devontae Watt can shed tackles better. Not as big, but definitely can make some big plays. Okay, now for Cincinnati. It's the most obvious thing ever, like literally. It's Zion Johnson. Like they've talked about this. Zion Johnson is a very good player. And he can pass protect. That's what you need. Aggressive. Mentally enables to handle the faster action that makes him playing on the interior. Johnson doesn't have length or wide frame to play tackle in the NFL. Although he can handle spot duty in the pitch, Johnson's smart and physical blocker with consistent technique. You need consistent technique because they don't have consistent technique, to be honest. And when you don't have that, it's really hard to play defense. But Zion Johnson is your guy if you're the Bengals. If he's not available, take the next guy. Okay, for the Lions, this is the one where you kind of just need to think, who's their biggest need? Safety. Who's there? Daxton Hill. Take him. Daxton Hill's good. That's all you need to know. Let this thing load, and then it'll show us the draft. Okay, so all these guys we see here show that Daxton Hill is honestly the most questionable one, you could say. It's hard to pick the 32nd pick in the draft. But right now, this is my mock draft 1.0, guys. Either way, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. That's my mock draft 1.0. Of course, big news came out a little minutes ago. But yeah, it's the NFL offseason. That's my mock draft 1.0. I'll make 2 more, of course, after free agency, and then right before the draft.